Hello, it's me again with another video. Last week's video went down quite well. A lot of people found it pretty helpful, some good views in the end, so I figured it'd be worth doing another one. So this week I'm going to talk a little bit about the suspension of the bike. Not going to go into massive detail because I'll end up confusing myself and probably you lot as well. So I'm going to keep it pretty simple. Without a doubt, the best bit of money you can spend on your bike, if it's a new bike and it don't feel like it's handling particularly well, is spend your money on the suspension. Blingy bits look cool, but they won't make you feel better. So a basic thing to do to your suspension is to get the sag correct on the rear shock. To get the right numbers, you need the right springs, front and back, for your weight. So if you ring a suspension place, give them your exact weight without kit on. They'll recommend the spring rate for you, get them fitted, and then the next bit will work and make sense. So to measure your sag, the first thing you want to do is put the bike on the stand so there's no weight on it whatsoever. Get one end of your tape measure at the top of the spindle there, so it's in the same place each time, and then find a mark on your rear fender to get a good measurement. So that corner there is 600mm. So you've got that first measurement of 600mm. So your next step is to take the bike off of the stand. Ideally you want someone to hold it upright like that, so it's not leaning up against anything, but I haven't got anyone. So then you measure from the same point to exactly the same point you did on the stand. So it was 600 on the stand, and now it's 565. So the difference between them two, which is 35mm, is your free sag. You want that between 30mm and 40mm ideally. As long as you're in the boundary, good. Final measurement you take is with the rider on the bike with all his weight on it. So again, get someone to hold you if you can. Standing up in the middle of the bike, it's important to have all your kit on usually, so boots, helmet, as if you're going out to ride. And again, take the measurement from the bottom to the top, exactly the same place. Get that measurement, and then the initial measurement of on the stand, the very first one, and this measurement, you want between 100mm and 110mm difference in their measurements, and that's your rider sag. That's the important one. Some of the older bikes without the linkage suspension, the old KTMs, they're better off near 100. I run about 106mm, but again, it's rider preference, so you can go to 108mm or you can go 105, 104, but as long as you're between roughly 100 and 110, you're not going to be far off at all. And that mainly works for bikes 125s and up. Different measurements for 85, 65s and autos. Again, I don't know a massive amount about that, but if you've got a 125 and above, get the rear suspension measured. Priority is getting the springs right, and if you're in between them ranges, you should feel a big difference with your riding. If them numbers I just spoke about don't add up, say for instance the difference from being on the stand to the rider being on it is too much, say 120mm, and you want to stiffen it up, you slacken this bolt off here, and then you put tension on the spring with that ring just here. You have to tap that round. Slightly different on Japanese bikes, but in theory you're putting preload on the spring, and that'll adjust that. If it's too stiff and them initial numbers I talked about are too little, probably rider sag 90mm. Again, slacken that off, go anti-clockwise, so you're putting less preload on the spring, you're lengthening the spring, and that will soften it off. Another little thing to mention, and is really important depending on what ground surface you're riding on, is where your forks are in the triple clamps. So I've been to a sand quarry today, and as you can see, they're almost flush, so they're pulled right down. That helps keep a little bit of weight off the front when you're in really, really soft conditions. The harder the ground is, the more you'd pull them up through the triple clamps there. to put a bit more weight on the front wheel. So in hard pack you'd run it on, I don't know, third line, so you'd slide them up to the third line. That will help you turn a little bit tighter and get a little bit more weight on the front. Talk a little bit about the clickers, but not a lot. Again, it gets confusing. You've got compression usually, you've got rebound. Different bikes are in different places. The best thing you can do on the compression is wind the clickers all the way in. So you're doing it up, you're going clockwise, and then come 12 clicks out from all the way in. 12 clicks. Do that on the compression, do that on the rebound, on the shock and the forks, and you won't be far wrong. So get your tape measure out, get your mate over to hold your bike, and give that a go and have a good weekend. Let me know how you get on.